everyone. Welcome back to Publishing Power Play. I'm Jana Short. Let me just tell you a little bit about what we're going to learn today. For those of you who want to start getting massive brand exposure, you want to be seen on the best podcasts, right? You want to be seen on covers of magazine, not on the inside. You want to start booking some television spots or be on stage. I'm here to give you some information. Again, I'm Jana Short. I am the editor-in-chief of Best Holistic Life magazine, which has 1.3 million subscribers to it. And I'm also this podcast host. There's so much for me to tell you guys. So this is going to have some major tips on some secrets on how to get that exposure. And one is understanding your target market. Understanding your target market is super important because you want to be placed on the right stages, speaking to the right people. So if you could just take a little bit of time to chunk down on your target market, that's really going to help you for us to say yes. One of the most confusing things I have done, and we're going to talk about this in a future episode, but as I represent a lot of amazing clients, right? They're cover girls, they're on television, they're doing all kinds of amazing things, they're supermodels. When I represent them, if they're doing something and I say to a television producer who's asking me for some people to fill a spot, I don't know who they are or what they do. What do they do? If they don't know very clearly who you are and what you do when they go to your website, when they watch a video, wherever you're sending them on your one pager, they're not going to book you because they don't know what they're booking you for. How are they filling that space? So by knowing your target demographic, who you're serving, who you are and what you do, and you say it very quickly in less than a minute. This is who I am, this is what I do, and this is who I serve. And remember, your clients just care about what's in it for them. So they know when they're putting you on a segment, a 2 or 3 minute segment on your local news, you're teaching them something. It's all about them serving their listeners, right? So that's tip number one that I want to teach you guys to do. Oh my goodness, this is so important. Crafting an irresistible pitch. Number one thing, you can't be all over the place. By the way, you can be because I've done really well by being all over the place, but I'm not all over the place when I know who my target market is. I know exactly how I'm serving them, and I know why I'm serving them and what the benefits they're going to receive in it. That I'm very clear on. But when I'm on stage talking, or in a podcast, if you've been following a few of mine, you'll know I speak very fast. I get very excited and passionate about what I'm talking about. And something will pop in my head. I don't want to forget. So I start telling you about it. But you're like, wait, we were just talking about, here's the thing. Watch the video more than once because there's golden nuggets in this for you to increase brand exposure, get booked on those little segments on television, get booked on covers, get booked inside incredible magazines. If you want to be on Forbes magazine, you can be. So I want to help you get to those steps by teaching you publishing secrets. The third one is building relationships with editors and producers. This is so important. This is my key job now. So I started out as an author and a podcaster, and then that led me to doing my personal coaching. And then that led me to my magazine. And now, I do coach still, but I only coach 12 people a year, and they have to be one of my cover people because I'm teaching about building their brand exposure and getting them booked on those places. But my number one job now is looking out for them. How do I get them noticed and seen? So I am constantly building my relationships with other producers, other brand publishers, and getting them to know who I am and the quality of people I bring to them. So that now if I say, hey, I have 3 people you have got to include, they just say yes. So it's taken me 3 years to build those relationships, and those relationships are growing. A little key when you're building a relationship with a producer or a publicist, I want you to remember that you should be giving back in some way. Don't just be a taker. Always be like, how can I support you? How can I serve you? What can I do to help you? Maybe it's a referral for them. I have a friend that you would be a perfect fit for. Let me refer you. And so figure out what you can do for them, because it only works when there's that beautiful flow of give and take. So I prefer to be a giver. Having said that, it doesn't work if I just am in giving mode. If I don't receive, it just doesn't work the same. The universe works with give and take. One of the other tips I want to talk about today is leveraging your social media online presence. How do you do that? How do you build a beautiful online presence, right? When every single person, my dog has an Instagram page. I am not kidding. Everybody has a presence on social media. How do I stand out? I will tell you, people engage with you because of the way you make them feel. Be emotional, be real, be authentic. Remember that storyline I told you to really build that authentic, beautiful story they're going to remember? Build it, thread it through everything you do, not the entire story, but those little heartbeats of the story. Blend it through everything. I'm sorry, I got tongue tied because I get excited about our stories. I get excited about the personal side, but people buy a feeling and emotion. And you know what they remember? How you made them feel. And so I want you to remember that when you're building on social media. How do I make them feel? There's a few articles, and I have a coaching page. And I know in March I did a recording on how to make that connection, like on LinkedIn. Those tips work on every social media platform, and it has really, I did it before I started teaching it, and it blew up mine. So I want to make sure that I'm sharing what really works because I tried it. So you can go check that out. One of the tips that I would tell you to do is get a journal and sit in bed one night when it's quiet and you don't have any distraction and just start writing out your story and make it messy. It doesn't have to be chronological. I have my clients write out their story and I like make it messy. Don't give me one paragraph. Make it messy. Oh, and I remember this. Oh, and I remember my grandmother said this and this happened, or this happened on my journey, right? Or my child came to me and said, why are you doing that? And it made me feel this way. And it triggered this in me. When I read it, I get in bed and it's the end of my day. So I can just focus on that. And I grab 3 markers, a yellow marker, a pink marker, and a green marker. And I start reading it and I hear those heartbeats. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful for her mission statement. Wow, this is a quote, her quote, not somebody else's. This is so inspiring. This is a perfect place for her to build a social media post. This is a perfect thing for her course. And it's literally all the heartbeats I pulled from her story. And then when they look at it, they're like, where did you get that? Like, wow, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, you wrote it down in your story. This all came from you. And then we can build on that. So it's so important that you do that. The more pages you get, because you're only looking for those beautiful little heartbeats to build on. It may be when you tell the story, it's a 6 pages, 7 pages, but when you're building on the heartbeats, it's a little quote, it's a little statement. This is a perfect podcast episode. This is perfect for me to share in my coaching program. These are heartbeats of your unique, beautiful story, and they will leave people emotionally connected to you. This is the last one I'm going to leave you on because I like to keep these rather short because it's YouTube and we don't want a whole lot. But one of the things that I want to leave you with is the do's and don'ts of outreach. Don't cold outreach somebody. Don't outreach somebody and say, hey, I would love to be on your podcast. Go to their podcast, listen to a couple episodes, know which heartbeat you took from that episode. Grab that heartbeat, put that heartbeat on a piece of paper and hold it there. Then go back and leave a comment. Wow, I really love this episode. This episode with so-and-so in it really touched me and I love this part. So take that heartbeat and put it in, leave them a rating review and a star, 4 stars, 5 stars, whatever an honest rating and review. And then go and reach out to them. Reach out to them, say, hey, I've been listening to your podcast. My favorite was, I left a rating review because my favorite episode that really resonated with me was da, 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 da. I would love to share my story and share just the heartbeat of your story. Reach out to them that way. I get so many people reaching out to us for a podcast that we had an 18-month waiting list. And then it was a 4-month turnaround before it actually went through editing and notes and all this stuff that goes through podcasting and then went live. And for someone to wait 2 years is ridiculous. So we have gotten it trimmed down now where we can do the Oh My Health There Is Hope podcast a lot more simple. But leaving a rating review is your very first thing that I see you. I'm invested in your podcast. I would love it if I could be a part of that and reach out to them that way. If you want to be in a magazine, read the magazine, subscribe. You know how many people I have written in my magazine? And this isn't shaming them. It's just weird to me. And then they're like, I can't see my magazine. You have to purchase a magazine because it goes in print, or you have to have the app where we release it through the app. Once we got to 1 million subscribers, it was impossible to email 1 million people in one day that our magazine was out. It was costly. It was incredibly painful because something always went wrong. And it's just really hard. So putting it out in the app was easy. The app was $3.99. They had to pay $3.99 to see their own article. And they hadn't done that. I was like, that blows me away. So again, no shame. It just blows me away that you haven't done that. So invest in whatever it is that they're doing, read a couple articles and send them that information. Like on their website, hey, I loved your issue this month. Hey, this recipe was super incredible. Wow, the trainer you had on, I didn't even know this. I love that. Have them see you creating a presence with them first. Once they see you creating that presence, then reach out to them. So spend about 30 days. It's 30 days to get on a hot podcast, 30 days to get in a magazine and possibly a cover. The way we find our covers is everyone gets a free article. If you're in the health and wellness industry, everyone gets a free article. Here's what's required of them: a 15-minute meeting with me. I meet every single person that writes in the magazine personally. I want to make sure that they're educated. I want to vet them. I want to know that they're educated in what they're going to be writing about. I want to make sure it's not product driven. I want to make sure they're in service to their clients. And I want to make sure there's 2 rules we have: no curative claims or no types of diagnosing of any kind. I don't care what kind of degree you have behind your name. There's no such thing as a curative claim or a diagnosis. And our magazine motto is to do no harm. And so we want to make sure they're not making curative claims or diagnoses. And after they've done their article and after we published it, we listen to our readers. And if our readers love it, they're connecting with them, they're going back and rereading the article through the analytics that we put in the tags that are dropped on them. If they're in our top 5%, we'll reach out to them and say, hey, our readers loved you. We would love you to come on board as a columnist. We would love you to take a cover. And that's how we pick ours. We want to make sure first they're a good fit. So they're not wasting a year of their time and energy in our magazine and not getting any feedback or any return on their investment. So that's how we do it. So the do's and don'ts: don't just cold cock anybody. Don't just reach out. I get reached out by PR companies all the time, and it makes me so mad that they haven't even done their due diligence for their clients, and their clients suffer because of that, because I won't take their call. So I want to know that they're invested in me before I invest in them. Just to let you know the cost of putting out a magazine, and we're going to do an issue on the secrets of behind publishing. It's $500 a page, and we're giving you $1,000 to $1,500 space. All we're asking you to do is show up, give us that beautiful article that's going to reach out to our clients, and share just your article with your subscribers, your readers, your clients, and let them know, like, hey, I was published. We're going to share all those tips with you later. You guys, thank you so much for letting me take this time again to come in here and share with you. Again, I'm Jana Short. I'm the editor and chief of Best Holistic Life magazine, podcast host for Oh My Health, There Is Hope, and I am a brand strategist. I teach you how to connect through your brand emotionally with your potential clients. Thank you so much for listening. I love you guys. Have a wonderful time, and I can't wait to see you next week to see what we're going to talk about. Bye, guys.